Welcome to NAETISL, an organization whose mission is to establish a collective understanding of the standards, qualifications, and certification requirements for educational translators and interpreters of spoken languages with the goal of enhancing English learner-family engagement, student achievement, and meaningful homeschool connections. An organization whose vision is to support language access and language justice in early childhood and K-12 educational settings through highly qualified and nationally certified educational translators and interpreters of spoken languages. Most people are used to the idea of having certified court interpreters or certified medical interpreters offering their services and connecting speakers who communicate in different languages.
In the judicial branch, we strive to ensure every person who is of limited English proficiency has access to tools to be able to be understood. That is fairness, and same goes for medical interpreters.
What about in educational settings?
But then I realized that for educational interpreters, that's not always the case.
And even though there's a federal law that says that interpreter services have to be provided to parents who aren't proficient in English, a lot of times that just doesn't happen, or it happens and the interpreter isn't well trained or isn't trained at all in some cases.
There is a certain standard for interpretation in the educational field for sign language, but now for spoken language it isn't.
The ability for school staff to know about what's going on in the home and for parents to communicate what's going on in the home to the school is compromised by this lack of interpreter service.
Qualified and trained educational interpreters are primordial in school meetings, in the classroom, and in other different educational settings.
Parents don't have that information. How can they make informed choices to the educational success of their children? Parents need the information to be able to really make those decisions. If the interpretation, translations are just not there, are not provided, there's no language access, then there's really no justice at all.
You have a person with no voice. They have the same equality to the rest of the people.
And this limits the parent's ability to really give input about what's going on with their student at school. And I think that the teachers also suffer from this lack of communication because they don't find out some things that they really need to know to help the student in the classroom.
Qualified interpreters are needed to ensure that all students have equal access to the education system and to comply with language access requirements.
Education is a right, and we can't have the right to an education without the right to language access. Language is an integral part of education. If we block this, we're blocking the essential right, which is education.
This year, especially with the pandemic, it's been critical. We're getting information to families on school closings, safety precautions, what the work looks like.
And on a national level, I can say, having done research in this area, kids who come from homes where parents aren't proficient in English or where another language besides English is spoken, they tend to be underrepresented in special education, meaning that we're missing out on helping kids who could be helped with special education and special services. And I think at least part of that has to do with the fact that there isn't good communication between the home and the school because of lack of well-trained interpreters.
Not having that tool or not having schools recognize the need of allowing language access for people who are of limited English proficiency, I think is just downright negligent.
The members of a student's educational team must work jointly to ensure a clear understanding of the programs and services offered to be able to obtain the best learning opportunities for everyone involved.
I teach students who are multilingual learners. Translators and interpreters have been such an important part of that bonding process between the school and home, because many of our teachers may not speak the languages that are spoken in the home, and those translators and interpreters are able to convey information both ways, but help build relationships both ways as well. It's such powerful work.
There's a layer of a transitional process for parents and families. It's not just about language, it's about the system, and it's about resources and tools and knowing how to get access to those resources.
My role is to coming with that bridge between students, parents, and administrators, and to work together to be a strong community or to have success in the student. Then is that more important for me.
over the years, we've had several situations across different districts where important information needed to be explained either to the parents or to the school. And seeing what a critical role those translators and interpreters have played in my students' lives, in their families' lives, in my collaborating teachers' lives, that has definitely driven my passion.
That is NAETISL's mission. That is our goal. That is what we envision in our communities. You can find free tools and resources from NAETISL on their official website, naetisl.org. Under Resources, you can find clearinghouses of resources for interpreters and translators, school personnel, and emergent bilingual families. Under the For Families tab, you can find our guide, What to Expect from an Interpreter, which goes over the Code of Ethics for Educational Interpreters and has translated phrases for school meetings available in 13 languages.